Hello, my ninjas. All right. How is everybody today? How is everybody? So we got Diana King. How are you today? Typical Watch. How you doing? All right. Hope I didn't scare nobody. So, you know what? Give me a second. Let me go get my dog out here so he just quit yapping his mouth. So give me a second. All right. I'm back. I am back. So, hope everyone is doing good on this Tuesday. We'll just wait for a few more people to funnel in here and we'll get into tonight's show. So, got a few things to I don't know what this is. So, Randall Young, how are you, my ninja? If I'm looking a little redder than usual today, it's because I was out in the sun all day doing a drip system in a customer's garden. So they're all done. They're all happy. So scoot a little closer here to everything. So it was an interesting day yesterday. I only saw one person. One person the entire time I was out there. It was absolutely wonderful. Northern Michigan Bigfoot, how are you, buddy? Snowing there, huh? Well, you know, it is Michigan. Your winters last a lot longer than ours. Ours is probably the duration of about 2 weeks. So, you know. Thanks, typical. Which one were you watching? So, yeah, one person the whole time. So, one person. And of course, you know, it's. The main road is like 20 feet wide. And I use it just like you do a regular road. You know, you go on the right side to go one way, and you go on the left side to go the other way. And there's 15 feet between us, and the guy start panicking to get his mask on, and it's like, come on, buddy, really? I don't know. To each their own. To each their own. So whatever. I understand the situation. I know some people are a little more concerned about it than others. So, you know. You watching the typicals watching the Bigfoot and the bandana. Yeah, that was pretty cool, man. I tied that bandana around that limb. Like, I just tied it and I pulled it tight. It would have taken fingers to undo it, and they undid it and tossed it about 6 feet away. That was cool, man. That was interesting. And then yesterday it was pulled around the other way. It was hanging over the other side of the log. And Mark Narbucci, how you doing, man? How is everybody today? So glad you all can make it. So I guess today is going to be the first Tuesday of the live streaming. And yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about yesterday. So so I guess we'll start with this. I got a hold of Lewis. Finally got back to me. He is fine. His uncle is getting better, as you all know. He's a moderator here, or moderator on the podcast. And he fell ill, and he spent quite a long time in the hospital, 6 months or something in the hospital. He is home. He is getting better. And with him getting better, he is requiring more assistance. And Lewis is there at his house giving him that assistance. So, Lewis is fine. Lewis is just busy taking care of his uncle. And he's not really paying attention to anything right now because he's focused on his uncle getting better. And with that being said, as for the podcast, we're going to put that on pause for now. So, other than that, everything is fine. We're just going to put the podcast on pause. He doesn't have a whole lot of time. Little time he does have to himself is spent sleeping. So, he's not able to get me set up on StreamYard to do the podcast on the podcast channel. So, I want him to focus on his uncle and help getting his uncle healthier and get him back in the chat. And, yeah, so that's it. We're just going to put the podcast on hold for now. And, yeah, we'll do this instead. So, Monday, I'll be posting my videos. And then Tuesday, we can go live and discuss what we found or didn't find the previous Monday. So, I'm going to be going tomorrow to go get the buckets. And like I said, they will all have their own bucket with a lid, and their names will be on it. Hopefully they understand that. And yeah, we're gonna keep going. So we're gonna keep going. So give you all something to do, on a Tuesday night. Yes, Randall, prayers for him and his uncle for sure. So he is just focusing on his uncle and helping him get better. And I don't want him to have to worry about the podcast or the Facebook group or any of that. So I told him, just don't worry about it. Let's just put it on pause for now. And when you're ready, we'll get it back going. So, family first. So, thanks, Typical. I will definitely definitely send those prayers along to him. So thanks, Susan. And this is gonna be a regular thing here. So yeah, let's get into what we found yesterday, or I should say, what we didn't find. So it was pretty interesting. Um, over time, one thing I've noticed is the apples that the rodents chew on or the birds peck at. They won't eat it. They'll leave them in the bucket. They'll get around them and leave them in the bucket. Um, Pretty funny, if you ask me. That they're that picky about that. So um, there was a couple apples in the bucket left. You could tell they were chewed on by a rodent or pecked on by birds. Um, so I just dumped those out and refilled the bucket. I didn't find any bag. Not one bag was left there. So that was interesting. So there was nothing to pick up. There was nothing to look at. There was nothing to investigate. And they just came, got their stuff, carried it off to wherever, and enjoyed it. And this whole time, I had forgotten that I had put something out there. And this is pretty interesting. So, Louise D, subscriber of the channel, made a comment today. And she brought up the Pringles can that I put out there. It was gone. I completely forgot I had put it out there, and it was gone. Absolutely, a whole can of Pringles. Remember, I pulled the foil off, I put the plastic top back on it, and I set it in the top of the can. It was just laying in the top of the can, half out, half out of the bucket, gone, completely gone. Didn't find anything. Didn't find the bags. Didn't find the sardine tins. Didn't find the Pringles can. Nothing. Absolutely nothing but the apples that the birds had pecked at. And they're going somewhere. I mean, I don't know where, but they're going somewhere. I mean, there was a full-size Pringles can. Gone. Just gone. Just like the sardine tins. I have yet to find one of the sardine tins. So, interesting. Very interesting. Um, and also, Parkway made a comment today. And let's see if I can bring up his comment real quick, because it was interesting. It was interesting. Diane King, what time? Now. Let's see here. Let me go into my studio. Comments. So, Parkway left a comment. Parkway's comment says, "Nothing says, 'Welcome to the trail,' than a stack of scat. That second pile is nearly identical to one I found recently, but wasn't as big. It does resemble human." Okay, so I know I've had some comments in the past saying, "Oh, please don't show that anymore," and it's like, it's interesting. It's very interesting. Okay, so let's go through the list of animals we have out there. We have deer. Let's start with the large animals. Deer. I've seen deer. I've seen mountain lions. I've seen bobcats. I've seen foxes. I've seen. Okay, now we're getting into the smaller stuff. Raccoons, possums, squirrels, dusky-footed wood rats. Um, so, sorry about that. My daughter's dog is just barks at the wind. So, um, and then you got the birds, you know, you got blue jays, you got gray jays, you got hawks, you got falcons, we got crows, we got California condors, and you know, some pretty big birds and stuff like that. So the scat was interesting in the fact that, well, for one, they were in the middle of the trail. Um, in the fact that there was entire, some type of an entire nut in one, which means it wasn't chewed. It was swallowed, just swallowed and not digested. Um, the other one, I found that scat before, not that big, but I found that scat before, and there's just tiny, tiny, thousands of tiny, tiny little seeds in it. Now, it ain't deer, because deer poop looks like rabbit poop. Um, it ain't bobcat or coyote or mountain lion, because, well, they don't eat, you know, nuts and foliage and stuff like that. Um, Raccoons are omnivores, they'll eat just about anything, but they're not going to leave a scat pile that big. Neither will a possum. Um, so, Ken from Arkansas Bigfoot called me yesterday after he had watched my video. He made a very good point. He says, no wild animal would ever take a crap in the middle of a trail like that. Because when they do that, they are at their most vulnerable point, and they're going to go into a place to where they feel comfortable. They're going to have cover, and a wild animal will not do that. They will not crap in the middle of the trail. And he brought up a good point after he said that. He said, I think the Sasquatch people and myself, or you, meaning myself, have something very in common. And they're tired of all the people out there also. So they crapped in the middle of the trail where everybody walks, just to give them the old FU. You know what I mean? Um, so, very interesting about that scat. I mean, scat will tell you a lot. I know people don't like to look at it, but hey, everybody poops. I don't care. I don't care how sensitive you are about it. Everybody poops. And that led me into my whole rant and rave about people going on people's comments and saying, oh, well, no scat's been found, no hair's been found, you know, no bodies have been found, and this, that, and the other, and stuff like that. And it's like, well, actually, it has been found. It hasn't been analyzed or examined because that cost thousands and thousands of dollars. And I'm sorry, but me personally, I don't have $6,000 or $7,000 laying around to go send off to a university to figure out what the scat came from. And like I said, if they're gonna run their mouth, they can send me a blank check, and I'll send in anything they want me to, because I can get scat at any time. I have a clump of hair. Go back and look at my hair analysis. The hair's never been cut. You can tell because it has a tapered end. Hair grows from the root. A dog gets groomed. Okay? It's going to always, when it gets cut, that hair will always have that sharp, crisp, flat end. It grows from the root. So once you cut a hair, you cut that taper off. Okay, this has never been cut. So I can get scat. I have hair. I have a bag of urine over here from when Cardon got to the bucket. Fletch and Mercy cleaned him out. He got mad and he peed in the bag on the ground. And I will tell you this, I mean, all of this is on video. This is why I video the way I video. I start the video before I go in. I leave it running the entire time. It is one solid clip until I leave. Okay? There's no editing. There is no tampering with. There's nothing. You can go back into that video and see me find that bag of urine. And that bag of urine is actually sitting right up there with all the other Ziploc bags that have been pulled and stretched and ripped open. Let me tell you, it stunk. It stunk bad. I have never smelled any type of urine that bad. The urine, I mean, horrible. Absolutely horrible smelling. It was strong stench. Okay, and I have that bag. Unfortunately, I had to pour some of it out, but I was able to save some of it. There's still some of it in there. So, to all those, like, again, I'll say this again, to all those people that say this stuff hasn't been found, it has been found. It's just never been analyzed because it costs thousands of dollars to send it to a university to have it analyzed. And chances are that university is probably going to say, oh, well, we think it was contaminated because it came back as human. Well, there's a reason it comes back as human. Because they are. They are. And I've been thinking about this for a while now. I want everybody to think about this too. When you look at a Sasquatch, they look very ancient. They look very unchanged. And several animals around the world that we know of exist. Great white sharks have gone unchanged other than their size. Alligators have gone unchanged other than their size. Crocodiles, turtles have gone unchanged other than their size. And that is due to the oxygen levels. When they were large, the oxygen levels were a lot higher. Which is why deer here are very small because we have lack of trees. And when you go into Alaska, the deer are 2 or 3 times larger because there's more trees, there's more oxygen. So when you get into the science of it, it all makes sense. So I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about what are they? What are they? What are they? What are they? And this is the conclusion I've come to. They are pre-modern day humans. And I said this on the last live stream, that they are not the hybrids of us. We are the hybrids of them. Our entire modern day human evolution and all of the humanoids that they found bones of are all hybrids of them. They are the ones that we came from. And we share a lot of the traits, obviously, which is why a lot of the DNA comes back as human, because they are. So, how you doing, Ken? Glad to see you. Susan Robertson, how are you? So yeah, if y'all remember yesterday, I put out those 2 marbles that I found underneath the house when I was running that charge cable. I put out that glass rock with the blue gem glued to the top of it. I put out the rain stick, and I gave Cardon a king's crown. There's a reason I gave Cardon the king's crown. That's because through all of this stuff going on and the buckets not getting touched and all this stuff, I wanted to know what was going on. And in a video I said, Rachel, I don't know what's going on. If there was any time to call me, today would be the day because I need answers. And she did. She called me that night and we talked. And she said, he's in my head right now. Um, he says, you disrespected him. You disrespected him. When you called him out, you disrespected him. And he did not like that. And then she proceeded to say that he brought up the purple tiara and said, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. And I'm not gonna take that. Which is why he kept breaking it off of the branch. So, typical watch. I have a question for you. Have you tried to mind speak with them? No, I haven't. No, I haven't. I don't think they think that I am ready for that. Um, we'll see soon. Um, I'm going to next week. I'm going to swap out the buckets. I'm going to take those old ones down because those have been up for almost a year now, and plastic doesn't last very long out in the elements. And you all saw I was trying to get the stuff out of them, and I broke one of them. It's hanging on by a thread. So Diane King made a wonderful contribution. So I'm gonna go get new buckets because that's what she requested, and we're gonna get the new buckets out there. And the week after that, I'm going to take my chair out there, and I'm going to start sitting out there without the camera on. So we'll see what happens. Yesterday, I received a package from Arkansas Bigfoot for a late birthday gift. And, hold on, let me get it. Oh, and this is one of my new t shirts my wife got me. So, you can see that. We got Sasquatch and good old American flag. So, love that. So in that package I received from Arkansas Bigfoot yesterday for a late birthday gift was two things. First is this awesome hatchet that Ken found metal detecting out by the pond of his house, and we both estimate it to be from the 50s, maybe even the early 60s. Um, he wrapped it all in leather and covered it in pine tar. Nice and grippy, perfect little hatchet size. I love it. He he did excellent work restoring this. This is absolutely awesome. So, um, and then also in that package were these. He gave me the prototypes of the mini dowsing rods that he sells. So I've been playing with these, and they're awesome. They are freaking awesome. I have a little turtle pond here, okay, with a little fountain in it and stuff like that for my turtle. And I go to the back of the property, and I hold these things, and I'm facing with my back away from the pond. Um, I hold these things, and all I do is think about water, and both of these things swing around and start pointing behind me. So I turn around, and they swing back forward, and I start walking towards the little pond. And as I'm up next to the pond, they start swinging to the right. And when I put them over the pond, they cross. It is absolutely incredible, and I am so stoked to have these. I've been playing with these since I got them yesterday, and they're awesome. So, Susan Robertson, all you got to do is just order them. he sells them. He makes them and sells them. The minis are pretty cheap too. So he makes the full size ones. He makes all kinds of stuff. Everything he sells is all handmade. So um, that's what he does. Incredible work. The craftsmanship is incredible. So Randall Young, yes, they're solid, pure copper. Absolutely. So those were the two things that I received from Arkansas Bigfoot yesterday as a late birthday present. Um, Incredible. So I'll taking those out there and see if I might be able to talk with them through those. Um, I did a little bit last night. Um, I stood out there and just kind of cleared my mind and held him and stuff like that. And left hand dominant. So Ken was saying your whatever hand you're dominant would be your answer rod, and then the other one is going. Your other hand is going to be your seeker. Um, so all I thought was cardon, 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 and it hit me in the chest just like it does Rachel. So thanks, Ken. You're no, I'm not gonna cut my finger off. I'm not gonna cut my fingers off. That's for sure. So, just explaining to everybody, I've been playing with those dowsing rods and how incredible they are. The whole dowsing rod thing is just incredible. So, um, I'm gonna be taking those out there and seeing what I can do with those, and hopefully maybe get some answers. But like I said, I was sitting out back, just cleared my mind, closed my eyes, and was thinking cordon, 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 and it swung and hit me in the chest, which means yes. And when it hits me in the chest, it means yes. And when it swings back around the other way, it means no. So there was a connection there. And I said thank you, and it just returned back to normal. And I was just thinking to myself, am I on the right path to making things right with you? And it hit me in the chest again. He said yes. So that is very reassuring, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. So incredible. Absolutely. If anybody out there is interested in these in dowsing rods, definitely get a hold of Ken King and order yourself some. And he makes all kinds of stuff. So he makes all kinds of stuff. The stuff he makes is incredible, all handmade and by him, and it's incredible. So definitely go check out the stuff he makes. Order yourself some rods. He makes the mini rods, which will fit beautifully in my backpack, and he makes the full length rods. Um, and it's I'm still biking. I got home from work and that was the first thing I picked up were the rods, and I'm playing with them and stuff in the yard and everything. So incredible. So yeah, we'll take those out there and we'll see what happens. Um, Definitely think there was a connection last night with Carl or Cardon. Um, Last night. So I definitely am reassured that I am on the right path to making things right with him after all of my mess ups. So, it'll be interesting. So, we're definitely going to take those out there and see what we can do with them and stuff like that. Um, Rico, how are you, buddy? How are you? So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm really curious to see what happens with the King's Crown because I did write his name in it and I was very specific. This is for you and only you. I wrote your name in it. you know, because you brought up the purple tiara and said that you didn't like that. And so I got him a king's crown because, well, he's the king out there. I'll tell you that right there, right now. He is the king out there. So, Sharon Guy, yes, I saw him. I saw him when I was out there. When I'm out there and I see them, I try not to make it a big deal because once you make it a big deal, they'll leave. Once they know that you know they're there, they'll leave, and I don't want that. So I try not to make it a big deal. But I'm glad you caught that. Yeah. Yeah, he was out there just waiting for those buckets, let me tell you. You know. Um Hopefully since I'm going out there on Mondays and there's a lot less people, hopefully we'll get some more vocals. Um I had someone comment on my channel and stuff asking if I'd gotten any vocals and stuff like that, and uh, I've gotten the grunt, and I can do an impression. As embarrassing as it sounds, I was hanging a bag for Cardon, um, with stuff in it, and you hear ooh 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 behind me, and you could hear it. You just put headphones on, you could hear it. Um, Incredible. And then I want to say it was Sharon that heard the woo recently. Um, put earbuds on and you hear woo. There was no one out there at that time. You know what I mean? So they're very quiet because of the human population out there. Uh, Very similar to a lot of stuff Ken has going on, but also different because of the area. You know, the only human traffic out in Ken's house is them, or Ken's area is them. So, you know, the human traffic out in my area is half of LA County. So, you know, it makes sense that they're going to be a lot more quiet. Um, but it's also helped me to understand how they operate and how they they're learning from us. They're learning our habits in our, you know, way of doing things out there, and they've noticed that no one goes off trail. And they've also noticed that if they don't move and if they don't make noise, they don't get seen. So they're very quiet. And it's taught me a lot in the way they've actually taught me a lot in the way of humans. Um, Humans are absolutely oblivious to their surroundings at any given time. When they're focused on something, they're just focused on that, and they have nothing, it's just blinders. And that's how people are out there. Um, they're just walking, talking to their friend, they're focused on the conversation. That's it. They're just oblivious to their surroundings. And I've done it before. I've stood out there in the middle of the field. As long as you don't move, you don't make noise, they don't see you. So, good night, Northern. You have a good night, man. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Um, so, yeah, I've learned a lot about how they operate and why they do what they do or don't do what they do. Um, and it's interesting. It's very interesting. I've learned a lot about them. Obviously, you know, we discussed beards on Sunday and the importance of beards to them. Um, and that's cool because that gets into their heritage and their beliefs in their hierarchy and stuff like that. That's very personal to Sasquatch people. Um, so one thing I've noticed with all of that is Cordon is very old school. He's very traditional, which is why the beard was bothering him because that's the way he was brought up. That was the way he was brought up. Elders have beards, young ones do not. And it's very personal to them, and it bothered him, which is why now I wear the cover over my beard. That was the compromise between us, and apparently it seems to be working. So, um, it we all know that they thrive on respect, and me wearing that beard, that covering my beard, shows him respect. Um, and of course, it's obviously a compromise. So we worked that out. Um, Now, Mercy and Fletch are of an entirely different generation. They are more willing, way more willing to interact with humans, but because of Cardon's traditional ways and his old school ways, he is keeping them from doing that. Um, just like generations now, different. When I grew up, it was just kids are kids. You hang out with whoever. I hung out with mostly older people. When I was 12 years old, I was hanging out with, 16 and 17-year-olds. Um, it's a lot different now. So you get those generation gaps in the Sasquatch people, just like you get the generation gaps in humans. And it just all depends on how they're brought up. So I hope to get deeper into their heritage and their old school ways and stuff like that. It's very interesting. Very interesting. So, to learn all that. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So I put the marbles, the little clear rock with the blue gem on it, the rain stick, the yellow egg, and I made a joke that I hope they don't try and eat the egg. So I had to show them, don't eat the yellow part, just squeeze it. I put some hot tamales in it, and it opens. I showed them the two parts, and I put it back together, and I put that out. Um, Interesting too. So there's a lot of similarities between Arkansas Bigfoot and the ones in my area. It, Sardines. They go nuts for sardines in Arkansas. The one Junior and stuff like that love sardines. And they love hot stuff, hot, spicy stuff. I had put out those hot tamale peeps. And one of them loved those hot tamale peeps so much they actually put the bag in their mouth and sucked on it to try and get every bit of that flavor out. So, since peeps are seasonal, I had to go with the next best thing, hot tamales. So, we'll see. They all got hot tamales. I put some hot tamales in that little yellow egg, and we'll see what happens. Um, so, my private donator called me up today and said, you need to come by. And there he is, Lewis. How are you, buddy? Glad to see you here. So, um, my private donator called me up, said, can you come by? I ordered some stuff for you. It came in, and what they got were they're very concerned about the plastic out there. And I said, well, I pick up everything I find. And like, yeah, but you still don't find all of it. You're right. You're right. Um, so they ordered a bunch of burlap bags, a bunch of little burlap bags. So we'll try that. We'll put some apples in the burlap bags. We'll put the burlap bag in the bucket and see what happens. We'll see what happens. Um, and a bunch of small little paper bags. And they've been. I told them, they don't like like noisy plastic, like shopping bags, or even the bags that the apples come in that are real crinkly and loud. They don't like that, and they won't touch it if it's in that kind of stuff. Um, so they got paper bag, and they're sitting there. I walked in, and they're sitting there and stuff, and they've got these balls of paper. They're just rolling up these bags, this whole stack of bags, so they're all crinkled, and they're like, well, we figured out that, if you put the stuff in the bag and just fold the end over, it's loud. But if we do this and ball it all up and crumble it all up and then put the stuff in it, it's a lot quieter. Sitting there, balling up all these paper bags and stuff. So we'll try that because they're very concerned about the plastic bags out in the environment. And interesting. So, well, we got some stuff to try. We got some stuff to try. So everybody, I told you all about Lewis and his situation. So if y'all want to send him prayers now would be the time, because he is now in the chat and he can accept all his prayers for you. So he is fine. He's just focused on his uncle. His uncle's getting better, so he's requiring more assistance. So, yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting. It would be really cool if we see this gold crown walking through the bushes when we go out there on Monday. I'm king. You just see a gold crown floating through the bushes. or when we walk in, we hear from the rain stick. That'd be cool. That would be cool. So that would be cool to hear and to see. So, and then we got the buckets going up next week. A week after that, I'm going to take my chair out there. Just start sitting there without the camera on. We're going to try these dowsing rods. And, yeah. So, it's going to be an exciting future. Exciting future. So, but yeah, the whole scat thing is kind of funny. Me, like I said, me and Arkansas Bigfoot were talking about it, and I can just I can just picture Fletch and Big Feller, Cardon, just tired of the people, and just going out there at night and just taking a big dump right in the middle of the trail, hoping that someone would step in it. You know what I mean? Watch, someone's not going to be paying attention. Someone will step in it, you know? And then, of course, there comes me getting down and squatting down and poking at it with a stick, and they're probably laughing at me going, why is he so fascinated with our poop? you know? So, funny, funny, funny. So, they probably get a kick out of me, you know? Mark, is that bird behaving out by the buckets? Blue jay. Yeah, I don't know about that blue jay, man. That blue jay's got he is on it. I swear that bird follows me. He's waiting out there where I park my truck, and he follows me to see where I put it in the buckets. But I did not see him last time. I did not see him yesterday. So I don't know. Could have been off somewhere else. Yeah, that blue jay is pretty brazen. I must have chased that bird off 7 or 8 times, man. He just kept coming back, kept coming back, kept coming back. Randall Young, that scat is a way to mark their territory. Well, you would think so in an animal. I think those particular scat piles were just a big FU to the public. You know, they're just tired of all the people out there, just like me. So, um, you know, over time, I figured out where their little areas are and stuff like that, and it's all in a pretty concentrated area, but they all have their little areas within that concentrated area. Um, they all seem to just pretty much freely go wherever they want. There doesn't seem to be any territories, at least between Cardon, Mercy, and Fletch. Um, there doesn't seem to be any kind of territories involved with those three. Um, so yeah, I don't think the scat was a territorial thing. I think that was just a we're tired of the people, so let's see if we can get one to step in our poop. You know what I mean? Big F you to people. So, you know. Yeah, Diana King. Maybe they took care of him like you asked them to. Well, it's a possibility. That is absolutely a possibility. Remember when I found the pigeon feathers out there, and I found the tag, the leg tag for it. That was somebody's homing pigeon. That was somebody's homing pigeon, and I found the kill site just outside the entrance, just inside the entrance, and then I found the big pile of feathers where it had been taken to. Now, interestingly enough, is there was a big pile of feathers. They weren't scattered around like a coyote would do, pulling the feathers out and just go in all directions. It was in a nice, neat pile. Interesting enough is one of my plastic Ziploc bags was on top of that pile. All of that is documented. I mean, I've got so much stuff on my channel, it's not even funny. You could sit there for a week and go through if you start at the bottom and work your way up, it's literally a chronological system of how and when things happened. Um, so maybe they took care of it. Maybe they took care of that bird. You're absolutely right. When I put the pumpkins out, I made a joke. Wouldn't it be funny if one of them picked it up, took a bite out of it, and dropped it? Went there the next week. What'd we get? A pumpkin with a giant bite in it. And I was able to measure those teeth. Those teeth were 3/4 of an inch wide. Okay? A human's tooth is roughly around a 1/4 inch. So, 3 times the size of a human. It, incredible. Incredible. And it had bit the stem of the pumpkin. Now, you all know how hard a dried pumpkin stem is. It literally put a mark in the top of the pumpkin stem. All right, Ken. Can't wait to watch, man. You have a good night, buddy. Butch Grimes, how are you, buddy? How are you? Yeah, Viper Getty, your comment said, you should have collected some of that scat for DNA. Well, like I said in the video, if someone's going to send me a blank check, I'll have it analyzed. I got no problem doing it. I got scat, hair, urine. What do you want me to send in? Because it's about $6,000 or $7,000 for every test. So you're looking at 25 grand right there. So, you want to send me a blank check, email me. I'll send you my address and you can mail it to me. But Yeah, and like I said, chances are the university's going to come back and say, well, we think it was contaminated because it came back as human. Well, we discussed that. We discussed that. Of course, it's going to come back as human because they are. They are human, so that's why it comes back as human. So, yeah, it would be about $6,000 or $7,000 uh, per test, per sample. Um, and it would probably take 8 to 12 weeks on a low estimate time frame. So yeah, it's just not time feasible, money feasible, you know. And I went on my rant and rave about how people say, "Oh, well, no one's found it. No one's found scat. No one's found hair. No one, they have found it. They just never had it analyzed because of the astronomical cost of doing so." So, you know, um, I was watching a TV show with Scott Walter, America Unearthed, and one of his episodes was about Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and there's a gentleman out there. I forget his name, but he's the producer of another TV show. Um, he's big into Bigfoot. He is very big into Bigfoot, and he actually did have hair, and he did have the money to have it analyzed, and he got it analyzed, and the results came back as human. Scott Walter says, well, they think that it was contaminated because it came back as human. And he looked at him and he's like, exactly. And Scott kind of looked at him like, what are you talking about? He's all, hello, do you not get it? It comes back as human because they are human. So, you know, uh, what do they say? Apes and gorillas and stuff share what 98.6% of our genes or something. Um, that's a lot of sharing. Um, so obviously we share enough with them that even universities with their high tech tools and tests and stuff come back as human, which means they share even more DNA with us. So think about that, everybody. Um, yeah, it's hey Christy, how are you? Christy got a hold of Lewis. He is fine. He is taking care of his uncle. His uncle's getting better and is requiring more assistance, so he's over there 24/7 taking care of him. And we decided just to put the podcast on pause for now, so he doesn't have to worry about too much and jumble things around. So we're just gonna put the podcast on pause until he feels that he has enough time to get back to it. So that is it. But he did get back to me. He's fine. Um, so I made sure. Just do me a favor, man. Just keep in touch. When I text you, just say hey. Just let me know that you got my text and all that stuff. So just let me know that you're breathing. So I told him, I was starting to get worried that he was riding his bike somewhere, got hit by a drunk driver, was laying in a ditch somewhere. You know what I mean? And he's like, LOL. And I'm going, well, no, it's not funny because, you know. So, so everybody, it's going to get interesting out there. Um, these are freaking awesome. These rods are awesome. Let me tell you, they're no joke. They're no freaking joke. So, these rods are no joke. I was demonstrating it to my wife last night, and she's like, "What the heck? That's so cool." What else can you do with it? Well, whatever you ask it. Whatever you ask it. It'll tell you. So no problem, Christy. I'm just glad that he got back to me and he's fine. I'm glad to hear that John's getting better. And he's playing doctor. Well, not really playing doctor, but playing nurse. So he's helping John get better and getting it done, getting it done. Hey, Viper Kitty, get yourself a pair. He's got the full size ones and the mini ones, man. Get a hold of Ken King. He'll set you up on some. So, yeah, Christy, I was worried too. I was worried too. I mean, last night I called him. I text messaged him. I Facebook messaged him. I emailed him. I mean, I was just bombarding all of those until he got back to me. And I guess he got back to me and he said, I'm here. I'm okay. I'm okay. Don't do that again. So he was in here for a little bit. So yeah, Diana King was trying to get a hold of him too. So yeah. So you know, we're all one big family. We got to take care of family. You know what I mean? So I was this close to getting in my truck and driving down there. And start scouring the area, looking for them. So, you know, so, so yeah, we got a lot of interesting stuff going on. Um, Hold on a second. Sorry about that. My dog is getting old and senile, and he's back there trying to get into trouble. We got him on a urinary tract diet, and he's not allowed to have anything but that food. And I think he's back there trying to get into the bunny cage, eat lettuce and stuff like that. So, you know, just want to make sure he's not getting into freaking trouble. So, so yeah, Lewis is good. Lewis is good. Um, the Pringles can gone. I have no idea what other animal or what animal out there would take an entire can of Pringles. I mean, not nothing. There was no bags. There was no nothing. It was just all gone. Um, and I've told you all and stuff. I'll never put a camera out there. But my private donator said, have you ever thought about putting a game cam out and just seeing if it is a person taking the stuff? I'm going, well, I don't think a person would take the stuff, rip the bags open. A human is going to look at a Ziploc bag and open it the way it's intended to be opened, because it's just the way we do it. Um, and she's like, yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Um, but you don't have to put the camera like in that area. Put it on across the trail looking into the entrance to see if anybody goes in there. That's a possibility. You know what I mean? I can put it up on that hill facing the entrance across the trail to see if anybody does walk in there. Um, so, see you later, Viper. So that's a possibility. We could think about doing that. Um, I don't want to put a camera in that spot because that is just falls under the whole disrespect. You know, the whole trickery thing and disrespect and all that stuff. So, but I would be up for putting it up on that hill facing to the entrance. See if we see anybody walking in there. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, that's where I'm at. It's like, I'm already on thin ice. You know what I mean? So, maybe at a later date. Um, Again, I don't think, from what I've noticed out there, people don't go off trail. People stay on that road, or they stay on the actual like mountain biking trails that just kind of veer off of the main trail and then back onto the main trail for 100 yards or whatever. So yeah, I don't think it's people. It's definitely not people. So it's not human. So um yeah, that would be a good idea. Let me get off of this thin ice a little bit and then ask permission from Cardon. Hey, do you mind if I put a camera up over there facing the entrance just to make sure that humans aren't coming in here? Um but yeah, definitely asking permission for sure. So, but let me get off of this thin ice first. You know, hopefully this crown will get me a little push me a little farther onto thicker ice. You know, so that'll be. I think I've got a good feeling it's gonna be gone. I got a good feeling it's gonna be gone. So that's for sure. And a deer, a mountain lion, a woodland critter's not gonna take that thing. You know what I mean? Which is why I put it over that branch. You know what I mean? So, you know, hopefully that smooths some stuff over. You know, it was kind of funny talking to Rachel. Well, he's bringing up that purple tiara. He said he's not gonna. He don't like that. And I was like, well, that purple tiara wasn't for him. It was for Mercy. And she started laughing, and he says, oh. So he thought it was for him, and I had to correct him. So maybe after he gets his crown, I'll go get another tiara and take the tiara out there for Mercy. So, because you know that's my mountain girlfriend right there. That is my mountain girlfriend right there. So she is she's a sweetheart. She is a sweetheart. I remember when Lewis came up here and we went to the cave, and we could hear something in the bush. Wherever we walked, we get and it would stop, and then we would pass it, and it would go up ahead of us a little bit further, and we would pass it. And he's all, "You weren't joking. They follow you everywhere, huh?" And I'm all, "Yeah, I told you they do." So we had strayed from the plan, the normal routine. I normally get up in the morning, take them their stuff, and hang out for a little bit, and then leave. Well, we just walked by all of that, and they were following us the whole way. So we'd gone around and gotten to the cave, and I sent Lewis a picture of him sitting in front of the cave with his camera tripod. He's messing with it, getting it all set up and stuff like that. And he's like, "Oh, that's a cool picture." So I let it play a little bit, and then I took another picture and I sent it to him. And his reaction was, "Oh, hell no." You could see where we tromped down through the bushes up to the cave, and just right to the left, the right of literally probably 8 feet from where we tromped through the bushes, you could see Cardon and Mercy, their heads right up over the bushes, watching us, going, "What are they doing up there?" You know, and you could clearly see it. It's Mercy's fuzzy little head and Cordon's big, huge jet black head right next to her. So it was hilarious, and I'm like, "Yeah, I told you they follow me." So he's got a picture of him sitting there with his camera in front of the cave. You could see where we made our own little trail up to the cave, and then another picture on essentially the same thing. He's in a little bit different position and stuff like that, but you could see the two little heads 8 feet to the right of where we trumped through the bushes to get to the cave. And I'm going, yeah, they're wondering where their stuff is. They're wondering what the heck we're doing here, not over there filling the buckets. So on the way out to take him back to the train station, we stopped by and I filled up the buckets, and Lewis was very respectful and waited out on the trail, and he wouldn't go in there. He's all, "No, no, no, I don't want to go in there." I'm all, "Okay, well, just sit down, you know. I'll be right back." So, man, I remember the first time I heard Fletch's footsteps just on the other side. Boy, my heart felt like it was about to beat right out of my chest. I mean, it was going a mile a minute, and I'm going, "Okay, so do I even go back there? I mean, what do I do?" And it's like all of a sudden, I just got really calm, and I'm all, "You know what? That's what he wants me to do. It's what he's expecting me to do. So let's go." You know. But it's cool. You can go to many videos in the past, and I whistle once. I think one whistle gets his attention. The second whistle verifies it's just me, and you can hear him walking up from the back. And then he paces back and forth just on the other side of the bushes. And it's very clear. Right through the bushes. Right through, back and forth. It's insane. It's so cool. But like I said, as intimidating as Fletch looks, he is a gentleman. He is an absolute gentleman. That's the only way I can describe him. So, you know, yeah, it was really cool hearing them pace back and forth. Really cool hearing them. I wish I can go back to a spot, but unfortunately, it is just. I gotta wait for the bushes to get tall because sitting there, I'm just a sitting duck for people to see me, and I don't want people to start asking me questions. "Well, why do you always go to the same spot and just sit there?" You know, it's it's a fine line. It's a fine line in this area for sure. Because I don't want people to know why I'm out there. Um, because if they find out why I'm out there, um, it could cause a whole host of problems. It can definitely cause a whole host of problems, and I don't want that for them. So yeah. Well, Diana, I mean, everything is coming back in Mercy's area beautifully. It is growing so fast. So, absolutely growing so fast. So, I think in probably a month or so we'll be able to go back and sit in Foxtail Field. So, uh well, Randall asks, how old do you think their ages are? Um Cordon is old. He's probably upwards of 50. maybe even older. Uh, Mercy and Fletch are probably in their late teens. So, yeah, big generation gap there, which is why Cordon is the alpha. Cordon is very old school and traditional, and yeah, he keeps it that way, and I want to learn more about that for sure. You're right, Sharon. No, I can't give myself away. That is for sure. You know, um, I deliberately have. I don't put any Bigfoot stickers or anything Bigfoot related on my truck. For one thing, I mean, as much Bigfoot attire as I have, I don't wear anything Bigfoot related out there. Um, I try and fit the part as like someone out there studying the animals population, like the regular animals, the coyotes, the deer, the bobcats, and and that's my story. Looking at the birds of prey and stuff like that. And if anybody ever does ask me, oh, subcontracted by the Forestry Service to come here and check on the population of mountain lions or bobcats or something like that, because I would look like I'm supposed to be doing that, so that's my story. Yeah. Um, well, I can't say I'm just hiking. There's a sign at the beginning of the trail that says you must stay on designated trails. So I'm not staying on designated trails, that's for sure. So I need to pretend like I have permission to not stay on designated trails, which is why I try and dress the part. You know what I mean? So yeah. Well, I didn't realize they were that young either until I started having sessions with Rachel. So um, I'm telling you, if anybody out there is having uh, Sasquatch activity and they want more information, definitely call Rachel. Schedule a freaking a session, and you will walk away with your mind blown. I cried the first time I ever had a session with Rachel, because the first session I ever had with Rachel was with Mercy, and I asked her, is she getting the gifts I leave out there for him? She says, yes, she is getting the gifts and she loves them and she says thank you. And I started crying, you know? So it's it's a very emotional thing. Um, as crazy as it sounds, you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, I could actually just find a patch. I could probably just get a patch for my hat, you know? Um, but again, if I say I'm subcontracted, I wouldn't be wearing their stuff anyway, right? Because I'm not employed with them. I am subcontracted by them. So, yeah, see, Diana knows. Diana knows. So, it's very emotional. It's a very emotional situation, you know, when Rachel starts answering the questions. And it's it's intense. It's very intense, but absolutely. So, very, very cool. And I'm glad to have had my last session with her and Cardon. Um, she was, she kind of giggled a little bit and she said he's gonna make you work for it. He says he's gonna make you work for it. So he's gonna make you work for it. So I hope you're ready to do the work. And I said, oh yeah, oh yeah, you know, absolutely ready to do the work. And he's like, all right, it's on. Let's do this. So he's gonna make me work for it. But I think once we get past that, it's gonna get incredibly amazing. Incredibly amazing. So, you know, we knew he was my roadblock. We figured that out on our own. We knew he was the alpha, you know, and I screwed up. I screwed up royally, and he literally just said, "Nope, no more." Buckets weren't getting touched. Stuff wasn't getting taken, and you know, they have feelings. You know, they have feelings, and they have traditions, and they have, you know, security measures. It's insane. It's crazy. You know, very very structured people. Very structured people. Well, you know what? I don't discuss this very often with anybody, but after my sighting on my father-in-law's property in northern Idaho, um, we went to my wife and I went to Palm Springs because she wanted me to take me on the Palm Springs aerial tramway, and we went and did that, and we got up to the top, and she knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to go hiking, and due to her knees, she couldn't go with me. She's all, bye. I'm just gonna sit here and make snowmen all over the place. Okay, I'll be back in a couple hours. Well, I looked around. I noticed that everybody was going left and everyone was going right, but no one noticed the trail that was straight back. Oh, that's where I went, and it went back, and it went to the right, and it started going up a hill. I walked in maybe about a mile, and okay, I don't hear anybody. So I stood there on the trail, stopped on the trail. I literally just closed my eyes, took a deep breath, cleared everything out of my mind, and just went like this. I need to go there. And I was pointing right at this big rock outcropping. And I'm going, okay. So I get off the trail and I walk up to this rock outcropping. And right along the whole edge of this rock outcropping is someone's boot marks. Someone was out there walking around this rock outcropping. I looked down at him and I giggled. I said, someone's out here doing the same thing I'm doing. How funny. Well, they're doing it wrong. So instead of walking around the rock outcropping, I rocked up into the rock outcropping, and that's where I found my first structure. Um, Incredible. I think you can actually find what I found on my other channel, Northern Idaho Forest Ninjas, because I had not started SoCal Forest Ninjas at that time. I had only started the Northern Idaho channel, so I actually posted it on that channel. Um, Really, really incredible. I mean, I climbed inside it, I looked at it, I took pictures and videos and all kinds of stuff. So, I did the same exact thing from that structure I found. Closed my eyes, took deep breath, cleared my mind, and just felt the energy. Just felt the energy. And I went over there, down a valley, up a hill, and I found another one. And I did the same thing from that one. I found 3 that day. Now you get the main ridge from a mountain coming down. And from that main ridge, you get all these little sub ridges coming off of that mountain. Now these structures were on each of those sub ridges. And interestingly enough, is you can see from one structure, if you know where it is and where to look, you could see from one structure to another for communication purposes. It was absolutely strategic. It was so militaristic. It wasn't even funny. Um, and that's when I really realized, okay, there is a lot more to these beings than what people think, because this is very strategic the way it was placed. How you doing, Cloaked? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you back, Ken. Good to see you back. So yeah, I don't really talk a whole lot about that and stuff because the whole thing still blows my mind. But it was really interesting that all I did was just go out there, close my eyes, take deep breaths, clear everything out of my mind, and just feel what was going on around me. And I just went, I pointed, and I looked, and I went, rock outcropping. What the heck? Why am I pointing there? And it was absolutely insane. But you know what? It works. It absolutely freaking works. Yeah, hey, Cloak, check your bell. If your bell isn't on all, you won't get anything. No one asked you. Come here. Come here. Come here. You want to be on TV again? You want to go inside? Yeah? You want to play? Come here. Come on. Come on. He's trying to play right now. So, what are you doing? You over there getting in trouble? Where's the Bigfoot? Where's the Bigfoot? Where is he? You looking in the window? Yeah? Okay. Cool. So, uh, you know what, Cloaked? One thing I've noticed too is if there's not a whole lot of activity, if you subscribe to a channel and you haven't gone to that channel in a while, they'll unsubscribe you. I don't know why. But hold on a minute. Let me put this bonehead in the house. And I'll be right back with you. Come on, let's go. Inside. All right, we're back. We're back. Too late, Karen. I caught you. uh, oops. Yeah, no more moon pies for you, buddy. No moon pies for you. That's all right. I know you got nothing bad to say about me. So, go ahead, talk about me all you want. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. So, oh yeah, it's It's been a very interesting ride. Sharon, my wife got me those. My wife got me those, and I put those up on the wall. And Lewis noticed them, and Lewis used the. If you look at the banner on the podcast, you'll see the same footprints going across our banner on the podcast. So very cool, Cloaked. Very cool. Yeah, just got to let them come into their own. You know. So well, everybody, we're going on an hour and a half. Actually, we're over an hour and a half. I am getting pretty hungry, and yeah, I think we're gonna call it for tonight. So we got lots of interesting things coming up next week. We got some work to do. We got to take down the old buckets, put up the new ones. Uh, Week after that, I'm gonna take my chair out there and start sitting out there without the camera on. Um, and again, that that scat in the middle of the trail, a wild animal wouldn't do that. A wild animal would not do that. That is a big FU from them to people on the trail. So, and I don't know where the Pringles went. I don't know where the Pringles went. So, I don't know. I had completely forgotten I had put the Pringles out there until Luis D brought it up. And I went, holy moly, I completely forgot about that. You're right. I didn't see him out there at all. I didn't see the can. I didn't see the top. Nothing. Just gone. So, all right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you all next Monday, this coming Monday. Post my videos. We'll see what happened to the crown. We'll see what happened to the rain stick, the marbles, the little rock, all that stuff. And we'll see. We'll see how much they like hot tamales. So, until Monday, remember, happy hunting, and don't blame the Bigfoot. Everybody, have a wonderful night. Stay safe out there. And be nice to everybody. Because there's not enough niceness in this world right now. So, everybody, I will see you all on my Monday upload. And we'll discuss what we found on Monday again Tuesday on this live. So, everybody, good night. Thank you for coming.